and he's too light. He is too light.
Well, I mean,
Now,
his mother is white now.
I mean, but
Your Honor, he calls him white boy. That's not
no.
acceptable.
He calls him what?
White boy, and that's not acceptable.
I call him my little white boy.
And she also does this squat that he does.
Squat?
Yeah, she does it all the time.
What is the squat?
Like when I'm fixing on something.
Let me see.
I can do that.
Ms. Renfrow explains what has been happening that led to this paternity case. And Mr. Toozy says this is why.
He don't want to take financial responsibility. He hasn't been there. He wasn't there through my pregnancy. When I had the baby, my baby, he wasn't there. For his surgery, he wasn't there. I've contacted him. I tried to let him know, and it was still nothing, no response, no, forget about, nothing.
So you're saying, Ms. Renfrow, that Mr. Toozy hasn't shown any care, concern about...
He's never even seen my son.
Your Honor, I seen him one time. I went over her house one time, and that was it, and I realized the baby just don't look nowhere near like me.
Ms. Renfrow reveals this jaw-dropping allegation against Mr. Toozy.
But you do understand that despite all of that, it has zero relevance as it relates to this child born to this woman.
Yes, Your Honor.
So many things are happening here, from Ms. Renfrow's confession about her son's medical condition to her not being intimate with anyone else.
My son has an issue with his stomach. He was born with what you call Hirschberger's disease, and it's passed through genetics. And none of my other kids have it. I had sex with him, got pregnant, and my son had to have surgery at 6 days old. He had to have part of his intestine removed.
So, Your Honor, I don't have any type of medical condition.
He just needs to take responsibility for his child.
Were you intimate with anybody else during the window of time when Kendall was conceived?
No, Your Honor.
Are you sure of that?
Yes, I'm 100% sure.
Mr. Toozy accuses Ms. Renfrow of this, and she responds.
And why would you have another guy signing the birth certificate?
Because he's been there. Like, he took on that role. That was his choice. That was his decision.
So, Ms. Renfrow, you had another person sign the birth certificate?
My ex signed the birth certificate. He's still in my child's life. He still takes my son to the doctors.
Is your ex in the child's life because he could potentially be the biological father as well?
No, he loves my son.
Mr. Toozy continues to claim he isn't the father, and Judge Lauren comments this.
So, Mr. Toozy, do you have this disease, Hirschsprung's? Do you have this?
No, Your Honor.
Does anyone in your family have issues with their intestinal tract?
No, Your Honor.
And you don't have this disease in your family as well? No. Mr. Toozy, why haven't you been there? I mean, this child is 6 months old. He has had to overcome medical issues.
That baby don't look nowhere near like me. If the baby was mine, it'd be a little more darker than what it is.
Because you done made it up in your mind.
No.
Ms. Renfrow expresses how hard it has been raising her son with his medical condition and how she's certain Mr. Toozy is the father.
Ms. Renfrow, what has it been like for the past 6 months to have to raise this child without the man you say is his biological father and go through all of this medical, I mean, look, when you're having a medical issue, everybody knows the first thing they ask you is your family history. You're not able to give a lot of the information related to Mr. Toozy's side if, in fact, he is the child's biological father.
Because he ignores me.
Because he won't cooperate. So how has this been for the last 6 months?
It's stressful. It's hard. My son has to see a surgeon twice a month. He's in and out of the hospital with infections in his intestines.
And this hilarious exchange takes place between Ms. Renfrow and Judge Lauren.
So, Ms. Renfrow, your best friend, remembers you were intimate with somebody else around the time. When she said it, you did not immediately say, what you're saying is a lie, that is not true.
Stuff happens.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Ms.
Stuff happens.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on, Ms. Renfrow. Come on out. You're getting a whole nother little attitude now. I want to see it. So you say stuff happens?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does.
That ain't my baby.
Mr. Toozy says this is why he thinks Ms. Renfrow is trying to pin the baby on him.
Your Honor, the only reason why I think she's really trying to come after me is because I work 2 jobs and I take care of my own
But I've never asked him for $1.
She's just trying to get money out of me. That's it.
Your Honor, I've never
You
asked
believe
him for $1.
it's because you have 2 jobs and she knows that you were able to take care of the baby.
Right.
But he's already taken care of. Me and my ex take care of him.
And the ex is on the birth certificate, so he's the one gonna owe child support. I hope he knows that.
He knows.
Me too.
And the DNA test result reveals the truth. Ms. Renfrow says this, causing Judge Lauren to be furious with her.
Mr. Toozy, you are not the father.
Yes!
Oops.
Told you!
Oops.
Calm down, Mr.
Calm down.
Toozy. Calm down.
That is fine. I'm okay with that.
Do you know who is?
Yes, ma'am. If he wasn't the father, then yes, ma'am, I know.
Hold on. No.
You asked, I answered.
Look, little smart mouth. No, hold on. Because you done got on my nerves now. Because you got a smart mouth, but you're not smart enough to know when you're lying. Sitting up trying to pin a baby on a man. Hold on, I'm talking now. Since all you can do is shrug your shoulders, stay silent.
Ms. Pringle becomes emotional as she gives her testimony.
He says that she's not his because I have cheated before and it was just an accident. But I have sat down and I told him that the mistake was a mistake and I haven't done it since then. And I don't think he should put that against her.
Can you tell the court what that feels like? I see the tears in your eyes.
It hurts really bad because I have to raise her on my own. And no child should go through that.
Mr. Brown gives his testimony and reveals some interesting events.
The reason why I feel like that because the time she was saying, like the situation she cheated on me, always a cheater will be a cheater. So
you feel traumatized
yes,
by catching her.
yes.
How did you find out she was cheating?
She always get anonymous phone calls leaving out the room, instead of sitting there talking to me like if she was talking to a family member.
Ms. Pringle and Mr. Brown both disclose what went down when Ms. Pringle became pregnant.
I met someone on a dating site. We made out, and that's what happened. I went to a free clinic, and I took the test, and they said that it was 4 weeks and 3 days.
Pregnant?
Yes.
And then you called Mr. Brown?
Yes, and I told him I was pregnant. He was happy, and we were together for like 2 months, and we broke up.
And so he was happy, but for 2 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown, you were only happy for 2 months?
We didn't have sex at the time, like the conceiving time that she got pregnant. But we was broken up.
At the conception time, you didn't have sex then?
No.
Okay.
I don't know where he got his information from, but there's nobody but him.
But after he confirmed you were cheating and you admitted to it, then you start getting phone calls where you got to leave the room. That doesn't feel too good.
Judge Lauren breaks down the effect of being cheated on.
Okay, let me break this down. After you've been cheated on, all your red flags, all your senses are up. Spidey sense is on overdrive. So every time you got a call and then you had to leave the room to talk, look, truth be told, even if it was a family member and you had to leave the room and talk, I'd have been like, oh, you can't talk to your family member in front of me?
Ms. Pringle discloses the medical condition and behavior her child and Mr. Brown have in common that proves he's her father.
Yes, Your Honor. She's lactose intolerant, so is he, and other family members in his family is lactose intolerant. I'm not. And because she has the same hairline as him, and she also does this squat that he does.
Squat?
Yeah, she does it all the time.
What is the squat?
Like when I'm fixing on something.
Let me see.
I can do that.
It turns out Mr. Brown also has a medical condition that proves the child isn't his. Plus, he drops this huge confession.
I have asthma, and it runs down in the family. My other significant kid has asthma.
Your other kid has asthma.
Yes.
How many other children you have?
I have several.
many?
I would have had 8.
Wait a minute. What?
Judge Lauren comments on this confession and says a lot about it. With both sides presenting genetic conditions as evidence to prove their claims, the DNA test result proves whose is correct.
Mr. Brown, you are the father.
Ms. Whittier says this is where they would be if there isn't this paternity case. Plus, she discloses what led to the case.
I think we would be married, moving on with our lives, getting away from the conflict that constantly drags our family down.
Really? And that conflict is all based upon a paternity issue?
Yes, ma'am. Shortly before Lucas's birth, we had an argument. And that argument led to the ultimate gonna shut him up kind of moment. So I said, well, how do you know if it's even yours?
You say that in the argument?
Yes. I never doubted it was his, but I just kind of wanted to end the argument and let it be done. And I've regretted that statement ever since I made it.
Ms. Whittier discloses how they met, and Mr. Reed confirms the story.
He tried to save my toddler that he thought was drowning. He didn't realize she could swim.
Oh, that's cute.
It was a baby, and she was adorable, cute little stubby thing running around the pool in a little swimmer diaper. Jumps in the pool, so I'm laying in the lawn chair, getting my tan on. And I'm laying in the lawn chair, and here she goes. I look up, she jumps in the pool, and I'm right behind her, and I come up looking for her, and she's swimming around.
That's so cute.
Ms. Whittier continues to narrate this sweet, romantic story, causing Judge Lauren to comment.
We had dinner later that night and didn't see each other for about a week. And finally, I decided, well, give him a call. He was there for a reason, and I couldn't get him off my mind. So I called, and we spent quite a bit of time together for the next month. And then he left. He moved back to Tennessee. And it broke my heart, and it broke my daughter's heart. And so I checked Facebook, and there's a message from him.
Really?
Come get me. It's time to come home.
Oh, I feel like I'm in like a really cute romantic comedy right now, right? This is awesome.
The story continues and develops into a plot twist.
He moved in mid-September, and we found out we were pregnant the first week in November.
I was terrified.
You were?
I mean, outright terrified.
Yeah,
I didn't know what I was gonna do. I mean, name me one parent that does know what they're doing, first time. That's what my mom said.
Did you have any doubt during that time that the child was yours?
No, not at the time of the pregnancy, I didn't know.
When did the plot twist come?
With his ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
The conflict started between me and her. Well, then she starts whispering in his ear, oh, well, what if it's not yours? There was some arguments.
There were some arguments?
Yeah.
Yes. And an ex of mine decided to be disgusting and send a very vulgar message to my phone. He found it and thought that maybe there was some continuing relationship there.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved in with my ex.
The story begins to turn sour after the plot twist.
He moves in with his ex, who proceeds to attempt to convince him that that child couldn't possibly be his. And of course, because he's known her longer, he buys into this story. And it just got worse from there until I got sick.
It seems things begin to get better, but the conniving ex is back into the picture, causing more doubts. However, there comes a bit of happiness with this testimony from Mr. Reed.
They finally sent us home and said, as long as nothing else goes wrong from here to the end, maybe we'll have a healthy baby.
Ms. Lowry, the co-founder and president of the Albinism Alliance Group, sheds more light on the genetic condition, but Mr. Reed says it doesn't clear his doubts.
Albinism is passed genetically from the parents to the child, but depending on which gene is affected, depends on whether both parents or one parent passes it.
So with that said, Mr. Reed, after you've heard the testimony from our expert, does that change your doubt or affect your belief in any way?
It doesn't, I'm not gonna lie to you, it doesn't help the doubt. We're in court, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't help the doubt.
And that's what I want you to be, as honest.
Of course.
However, this DNA test result does, and the case ends on this note.
Mr. Reed, you are the father.
I'm shaking, man. This is the happiest day of my life. Aside from him being born, this is the happiest day of my life.
Ms. McDaniel recounts how she met Mr. Wells, and it includes a lot of interesting events.
We met, he was with his sister, and it was at a convention center, and he tried to get his 5-year-old to give me his number, and I was like, no, you asked.
A 5-year-old?
He called me
nephew.
friend. He called me friend.
It was my nephew. I seen that she spoke with my sister and them, so my nephew knew her, so I asked my nephew to go
Your
get her.
nephew was 5?
Yeah, at the time, he was 5.
Mr. Wells discloses where the doubt is from and why he wants to get the test done, despite just losing a child.
Your Honor, I heard rumors that she was cheating on me. Now, I'm grieving too, we both lost a son, but it's just the rumors and everything that I can't deal with it no more.
How long have you been hearing rumors?
I've heard them since the first one was born, the one we lost.
There is more to this doubt.
She's been sneaky on the phone.
Ms. McDaniel starts acting sneaky?
Yeah, she's covering up her text messages, erasing them.
Oh, I delete my text message. It's been a habit since I was little. I delete my texts every day at midnight, and I can admit to that.
And more.
The rumors, and then she doesn't look like me. All of my kids, they all favor me in some way,
He has told my daughter, I'm not your daddy, go find your daddy.
What?
I did not say that.
Mr. Wells.
Mr. Wells reveals why he isn't Ms. McDaniel's younger son's father, but this statement has Judge Lauren chastising him.
Maybe, yes, ma'am. That's my thoughts, yes, ma'am. And then it's his skin tone. He got ginger hair, and he's too light. He is too light.
Well, I mean,
now,
his mother is white now.
I mean,
but Your Honor, he calls him white boy. That's not acceptable.
He calls him what?
White boy, and that's not acceptable.
I call him my little white boy.
Wells, you're going to have to get some better child dialogue, okay? Because what you're saying to these children, no. You refer to the baby as my little white boy?
There are more revelations, and they are wild.
And what I'm showing, Your Honor, this is the way my head is built with like a roller coaster, It has a lump in the middle. Most of my kids, they have that, all of them. As you can see, mine is the same way. As for little Durrell, his head is more flat, and his hair is ginger, like a reddish hair. You feel me?
The first DNA test result is revealed, and this is how Mr. Wells feels.
When it comes to 2-year-old Ava Wells, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Wells, you are the father.
Thank you.
You look relieved.
I am. Very relieved.
Good.
The second one is revealed, and this sweet interaction takes place.
When it comes to 18-month-old Daryl Wells, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Wells, you are the father.
Sorry, baby.